Good evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro channel where Sportitos talk about a different kind of game, the reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Vice Chief Bisdak Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
Hi. Condolences to your winner picks.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Apparently, I predicted a different kind of trio. Anyway, we also have with us the man with the thoughts. Let's all welcome the one and only Martin. How are you doing, Marts?
Well, I'm doing fine, but I'm wondering, Joe. Jao, is this the part where the subtitles kick in?
I was going to prepare subtitles really, but I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. Anyway, tonight the council will take a look at episode 9 of Survivor season 44 entitled Under the Wing of a Dragon.
Ooh.
First things first, we kind of there you go, subtitles from Jao. First things first.
There, let me just put that.
Yeah,
let me just put that there.
Yeah, that title, the person who said that title came out of nowhere, right?
Yes.
So we didn't quite pick it up. Who knew Danny would come up with something, would say something like that? Just goes to show that that these guys are really into the theme, at least. Right. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's start with the highs. Who wants to start?
Well,
yeah, I'll go ahead. Martin alluded to this already, but the way they edited Live Tribal was chef's kiss.
Yeah. I love it, man.
I wish I had subtitles rolling out. That's. The editors are having fun. I like it when the editors have fun.
Yeah. I mean, we sort of had a taste of this when it was Owen, right? It was Owen last year.
Yeah.
Last season when he had not just during Tribal, but when he rattled off the different advantages that they all of a sudden came up with all of in the lower third, right?
Yeah, lower third.
Yeah, and speaking of lower third, in this episode as well, whenever Jamie would point out, I have an idol, and then it comes out one fake idol.
I see she's having the Philip edit.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. And it's always a good thing for production to have fun. It also makes us have fun.
Yeah. What was it? There was that guy. No, the girl. I can't remember who it was. Former federal agent or something.
The other one after Shepard, who was the eccentric one, whom I said.
Debbie Wanner.
Debbie, there.
The Wanner edit. Not the winner edit. The Wanner edit.
Yeah, and what's they also had fun with Philip, right? Like the former federal agent,
question mark
or special agent or whatever. Yeah.
Nice it's always fun to watch that.
Nice to see this long and storied tradition carrying on into the 40s.
Yeah,
yeah.
So always fun to see that. I prefer more of that, them having fun in that kind of way rather than us seeing a lot of drone shots and slow-mos and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it makes, for me it feels more organic compared to the other things that they try to do. Right. Yeah. What about you, Marts? What high do you have?
I want to carry over from the subtitles part because that's my favorite part of the episode. But we stick to the subject, the one that added it, the one that said it, which was Jam Jam. Because in this episode, it wasn't just the subtitles that the editors took pleasure of doing in this episode for Jam Jam. It was also the highlights. This person voted for me, he's voted out. That person voted for me, he's voted out. Now this guy voted for me, and I want him out. Something like that, right? And it's they're showing the hit list showing his hit list.
So is it
And
is it
he's
not a
hitting it.
Franny revenge tour, but a Jam Jam revenge tour?
No, low key. I don't know about you guys, but low key, it's like the editors also like Jam Jam so much. They're skewing the narrative in the sense that maybe it is Jam Jam, like being the puppeteer here. Or it
Mhm.
just so happens it's some luck. Everyone also wants them all out. That's why they're out.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
it seems pretty clear.
I
I'm
like
sorry,
how
Joe. You were saying
they're
something.
It seems pretty clear though that the editors
like
really
Jam
like
Jam.
Jam
Yeah.
Jam and
I
Carolyn.
can't wait.
Yeah, they like those two. I think that they like those two, and that's
Like,
why. That's probably also why I'm starting to like Carolyn.
right? Like they could have been the
Yes.
first. They could have been like the first 3 boots, and you know that they would have had the whole like first 3 episodes.
Yeah, they
Like,
dominate a lot of the confessionals. I think.
it
Who was
just
it?
so
Was it
happens
you,
that
Joe,
they
who
got
said that Tika is being used as the narrator of the series of this season?
Oh.
Yeah, that feels like it. Like we're seeing the season from their point of view.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jam Jam is the one that
Yeah.
seems to be the narrator.
Mm.
Because everything you can see, he talks about stuff that
lot.
is happening, right?
Mm.
It isn't personal content; it's game content, and he's talking about what's happening in the game, even though it isn't necessarily him, right? He talks about
Yeah.
other people's moves, and so that's that's one way to tell that this person is the point of view, one of the point of view characters.
Agreed,
Yeah.
man. And
So yeah, Jam Jam. Oh, what else? Do you have anything else,
Yeah.
Martz?
actually, I think you guys want to talk about this tour. As I said earlier, the revenge tour of not just Jam Jam, but the Kill Bill type of revenge tour, as you guys were alluding to in the previous episodes where I'm not around. Right? Like
Yeah.
that I'm digging this. I'm digging this a lot. you know? Holy smokes. I
So-
didn't think I was gonna go behind this, but wow.
Yeah. So Martin is now a fan of Franny now that Matt's gone.
Like
Uh,
it's like she was carrying a load of Matt and now she's free to dominate.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say something similar. That Franny, it seems, has gotten unlocked. Ever since
Mm.
Matt got voted out. Aside from that challenge, the challenge on the episode when Matt was voted out. It seems that now Franny, we're seeing a lot more of Franny's strategic side, a lot more of her personality, because she's now interacting with people outside of Matt, right?
It's true.
So we see more of her personality, whereas before it would just be her and Matt walking along the path and hugging and taking deep breaths together. Yeah, and yeah, I'm still all the way for behind that ship, no, but yeah, right now
Like,
it seems that
holy
she's gotten
shit.
unlocked. She's the one who pointed out that Tika's
Right?
up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But to be fair to Franny, even before Matt got voted out, she knew something was up with Danny, and he did have the hidden immunity idol, right? I caught on to that. Like
Mhm.
she noticed that. It's like, wait, so Danny has it then, like? And
yeah.
that's how
I
she
vaguely
thought, like,
remember that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but it's just
So-
that we can't really quite digest it, or we can't really see it, because what we're being shown is, okay, it's the what's what's there now, the Frankenship,
Yeah, the
that's what we're
Frankenship.
getting. That's what we're being shown the entire time.
They're like,
So
oh,
right,
true.
especially right now, it's being highlighted even more because the Frankenship is gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, shit. This lady means business now, like real business.
Yeah,
So
did you
everyone
see
better
her
watch
face
out.
during the challenge?
Yeah, like holy shit! Like,
I was
oh,
like, wow.
no one want to mess with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's like the origin story of a superhero, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like when the ones that you love are taken away from you,
Mhm.
then you vow to get revenge, and eventually that eventually learn the lesson that vengeance won't solve anything. What you need to fight for is justice. You know, it's like that
that's
could
bad.
be, you know, that could be like the Franny arc as well, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe I don't know how the season played out, but if the season played out in a way that you have, you know, Jam Jam being the revenge guy, you can have Franny as sort of the counterpoint to that, as a sort of the contrast to that.
Ooh.
I don't know what that would look
Okay,
like in a
okay.
Survivor season, right? But like,
Yeah.
you know, not revenge but justice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that would look like in a Survivor
Yeah, how would
season.
that look like? Because I don't know.
Oh,
But that's interesting. That's an
I'm
interesting point.
thinking this, right?
That is a very interesting point to have about the now we have Jam Jam versus vis-a-vis Franny. And another what was I had this thought, but I didn't really take a note of
Uh,
it. But I think are we are we getting did I say Heidi? I think that
not yet.
it was Heidi versus Franny,
Jamie?
I think.
Or
That was
Franny?
the thing that it was Franny on one side, but I think on the other side I forget who it
Uh,
was.
Well,
But because
final two was Danny, right? Danny
sorry,
and it was Danny Franny, like
which one?
in this challenge, I remember.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking just about the
Oh,
challenge,
I
but
thought that.
for the storyline
Okay.
for the entire season.
Hmm.
It seems that something is coming to light where they're pitting Franny against someone else. And then in the end their words
Hmm.
their strategies are gonna collide. I don't quite I didn't take note of it, so I probably didn't put too
Yeah.
much weight on it. So anyway, moving forward, we get yet another D&D metaphor from my erstwhile winner pick Kane.
Uh,
And he did he it was an accurate metaphor, the big bad at least according to them, because like I mean all villains are like their own heroes.
uh-huh.
uh yeah, from last episode they were the
Mhm.
villains, Ratu were the villains.
Yes.
So but according to Kane, he was still one of the party. And for
Mhm.
them, for him at the very least, Danny is the big bad
Mhm.
in a D&D campaign, and I liked it. I mean, yeah, any excuse to have a D&D reference in another show, or a show that I
Yeah.
like to watch, and is always a plus for me. Yeah,
He
dude.
has a point though,
Mhm.
because remember when Kane stepped out of the challenge, everyone was saying, "Those who will step out of the challenge, we will not vote."
No, it was
Scouts
before
are
that.
like,
It
oh,
was
way
before
before
that.
that.
It was before
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
So he forecasted that.
That's what
Okay.
made Kane. I think that's what convinced Kane. At least that's how they showed
Okay.
it to us. That's what convinced him to step out. When he heard Danny Vlachos say that he's not gonna vote for any of those who step out from the challenge.
Okay.
Scout's honor.
Oh, sorry. But he's not a scout, apparently.
Yep, he's
He's
not a
not a
scout.
scout.
Were you guys ever scouts?
Nope,
Oh, dude, I went to
sadly.
Sacred Heart, so I'm
Oh
at the
yeah,
very
that's true.
least a senior scout.
That's true. That's true.
Uh,
Yeah. So yeah. Any
Honor, a
other? Any
very
other?
very big thing with the
um,
scouts, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder how many scouts were pissed off by that.
I know, right? The Boy Scout, the Girl Scout, the Cub Scouts, you know. But for me, like, let's go back to another lady who's like seems to in it's a difference from Franny. Like Franny's now in the spotlight as a challenge beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
As this dominating individual who can literally own anyone right now in the island. To Carolyn actually blending well, not showing too much eccentricity. She even said that in her confessionals, like, wow, yeah, actually, past few episodes you weren't being too kooky for your own good. You're actually one of the tribe. In fact, without this confessional, you might have been the purple of the week.
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Not
I don't know if she's ever gonna
because
be a
like
purple of the
she
week. She's too
was
big
She
a
won't
she's
be,
personality.
never
but
gonna be a
like
purple of the week.
Yeah.
she's laid low so much that you forgot she was even there in this episode until she had a confessional. You
Well,
know,
that speaks true for anyone who lays low,
yeah,
right?
like the
Unless they have
certain
a confessional, and yeah,
yeah.
excuse me. Yeah, I do get what you're alluding to, and I also have a note on that.
Mm,
But Joe, do you have anything to add
yeah.
to what Martin's saying?
Yeah. Well, again, this is carrying on with what they
Mhm.
started doing with Carolyn last
Yeah.
week, where um, the editors are giving her personal content, but this personal content also informs her
Uh-huh.
gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and this personal content, and she can articulate how what she is doing that might be viewed as weird or whatever
Mm-hmm.
is part of the social game.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they make it a point to call out that this this is coming in like their off day or
Mhm.
whatever, right? Like she says, like it's good that there's a day off, but then you cut straight to her confessional where she talks about how this is her social game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's showing the audience that even though we've shown Carolyn as being weird or whatever, she is always on game mode because
Mm-hmm.
on their off day she's still working on her social
Working the
game,
social game. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So it's
Very
it's,
well
it's
put.
like,
Very well said.
yeah, the storyteller is just having too much fun
Yeah.
with her,
Yeah.
and
I don't think that.
they're managing to craft it like really well.
Yeah, and I think it's also because Carolyn is
Interesting.
giving them really good content. There is no way at
Yeah.
all that we're ever gonna see, or sorry, ever gonna
Not.
think that
Yeah.
Carolyn is gonna be purpled for an episode.
Very fun.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I did take note of that. The downtime, the camp life, and especially how that showed us yet another breakthrough from Carolyn. We've been seeing breakthrough after breakthrough. We got her personality at the very first instant of this season, right? It was her confessional that kicked off the season, and we saw that this was like, okay, who is this weird woman? Who didn't quite know how to do a confessional, and then the
Mm.
entire time and then she had that moment during that first challenge where she was trying to throw that ring around
Yeah.
the pole, and she couldn't quite get it. So she's not really good at challenges, and all the way ever since then up until now, it's episode 9. We had a breakthrough from, I personally think that she had a breakthrough last episode with how
Yeah.
motherly she was with Carson, and then it carried over to this one as well, where she was like, oh, Carson, you want a coconut water, the last of the
Mm.
coconut water. She's nurturing, and we're getting to see more and more of that, especially in this episode when we
Uh-huh.
saw her backstory video, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that she's making connections with the rest of the members, with the other members, it just keeps on telling us, okay, because we come from the merge, or at least the mergatory, where she found herself when she was like, I like sweating, when she said I like sweating, and it was
Mhm.
like, it was a weird moment for like, she didn't quite fit in,
Yeah.
right? And then here, while she was sharing her past, as being sober, 13 years sober, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, it showed us that she was forging connections with the other tribe members, and yeah, it's really cool. We're getting to see more and more of the authentic Carolyn, or it's maybe just she's always been that authentic. We're just coming
Yeah,
to
they're just
realize that
showing it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
and again, that self-awareness, like, oh, I know that they think that I don't know what's happening, right? That self-awareness that Carolyn has had ever since the start, it's
mm,
coming to the front, and it helps her to lower her threat level. Yeah, and it's really cool. I'm starting to get on the Carolyn hype train,
mm.
hoping that she gets, at the very least, if she's not gonna win it, she gets a really satisfying experience as a castaway on season 44.
I'm just a couple of things about Carolyn. Like this episode for me was a Carolyn episode. Um
Hmm.
she's giving me Jesse Lopez vibes.
Mm,
Oh,
Not as
okay.
like a, but not in the sense of
Yeah.
gameplay, strategic
Mhm.
mastermind, blah blah blah, because like those aren't the, she could be that good, but those aren't the vibes that
yeah.
I'm getting from the edit.
Yes.
what I'm getting is this is a story about her her arc, her journey that started from before Survivor into how Survivor changed her life for the better, etc., etc., and she might be like Final Four boot or something. Like that's the vibe I'm getting from the edit. You know, she's like Jessie, like the
Mm.
breakout star.
Yeah.
Um, another thing about Carolyn, this is, I guess, a master class in television storytelling, um,
Oh.
because you get to see the journey that she goes on. Like the editors are showing you the parts of the journey that she's going on, even though she was probably this strategic and this self-aware right at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and at this point she's still goofy,
Mm.
because
Exactly.
a lot can be said in storytelling about what you choose not to include in your story. When you look at the deleted scene, I'm not sure if it was this episode or the last episode,
I think it was this
Carolyn
episode.
sets her pants on fire.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that.
I was looking for it at the challenge and my rewatch. I was looking for it whether it already happened, but I couldn't quite see it.
Right, and then Jam Jam says something like Carolyn is like the annoying friend that does, that does like really weird things, but you're totally cool with it, right?
Mm.
Like that isn't that doesn't fit with the narrative that they're giving her, because by this point in the story we're supposed to see Carolyn slowly transforming,
Mm-hmm.
not the
Not still the
person
very
that,
kooky person
Yeah.
who just suddenly shouts whenever she's doing confessionals.
yeah, and that person would have, burned their shorts in the
Mm.
fire, right? So like it's really good storytelling. Um it's really good storytelling on the part of the editors of the show,
Mm-hmm.
the producers, whatever. Like I'm pretty sure that Carolyn is I'm pretty sure that Carolyn is very much aware of who she is and is consistent in the way that she is, but that doesn't make for a good arc, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we go to Aristotle, right? Um, stories are characters going through movement and plot, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they end up changed, right?
Yeah.
If we're going by that story circle of
The hero's
what's it,
arc,
the hero's
Joseph
journey, right?
Campbell.
Like, yeah,
Joseph Campbell. Yeah.
Joseph Campbell, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Like you have to undergo some great meaningful change, but that doesn't quite work for people that do well at Survivor, because people that do well at Survivor are people that know who they are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, sure, they might go through some change, but it's kind of hard to show that change on the island if you know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's in a way a master class in reality television storytelling. Um, and another thing that I noticed about Carolyn, and this was something that really like stood out to me as somebody that hung out with the guidance counselors in the school that I used to teach at, because they were really cool. They had board games, tabletop
Mm.
games. One of the guidance counselors had a bunch of tabletop games that he would just keep there for sessions with with the students. And sometimes when there was nobody in the guidance office, like the nerdy teachers would go and like play around with Secret Hitler or something. um, but what really stood out to me was when they were sitting around the fire and Carolyn was talking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's the drug counselor.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
talking about like who here has felt like
Weird.
you
Yeah.
were the weird one, or
Yeah.
the one that was out of place. Like that was a very drug counselor-y thing to do, right? Like, yeah, everybody is unique, and
Mm-hmm.
you embrace that uniqueness, and knowing who you are is what can break you free from your addictions. Like, yeah, that was showing how smart she is, how good she is at what she does, and just why she is the best character of the season.
Yeah. Yeah. So it seems to me, especially for the past two seasons. I don't know if if I ever get to rewatch the first uh 41 and 42, if we're gonna see something similar to what's been happening the past two seasons, it seems that aside from the winners edit, who something that Jeff has been vehemently saying that doesn't happen, we've been getting a heroes edit, right? Like who is the main character, and we agreed on this last season. It was Jesse who was the
It was
main
Jesse.
character of last season, and it seems for this season, we were clued in on it from the very first instance of this of the season that it is gonna be Carolyn for this season, and
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I'm down. I used to
Yeah.
not be, but yeah, now I am.
Like
Yeah.
that, you know, to see the story, like yeah, it's
Yeah.
they were really lucky to get Carolyn.
They were Carolyn and Jam Jam. Those two, they're both comic reliefs, and one is a very good focal point as a hero for the season. Yeah,
Yeah.
very well said. Very well said, Joe. Any other highs on your side, you
Well,
guys?
that being said, Carson is still my canonical winner pick.
Yeah, Carson is still your canonical
Okay.
winner pick. I will talk about my canonical winner pick when we get to the lows.
So far, Martin is in the lead.
Yeah, Martin's in the lead. He's the one with he still has his winner pick in
I'm
the
not
game.
changing it. So if he gets voted out, I'm not changing it, guys. Just
Okay, so
saying.
your winner pick becomes Jeff Probst,
Yeah, that's it. Like,
and you
if
can't lose.
I
with
don't
Jeff
know,
Probst.
like, if I have a winner pick, I just get to pick one, right?
No,
the way I do it. The way that I do it is I
Okay.
have my canonical winner pick right at the beginning,
Okay.
and the person that the show gives credit for kicking them out becomes my next canonical winner pick.
Yeah.
So it's like Highlander then. It
Yeah.
takes the
Sort of,
quickening.
yeah.
Okay.
And then what's it? And then
Sense.
at the end of the season, I see what my score is. Meaning
how many times
How many
it
times
moved.
it moved? Okay.
Yeah.
To the goalpost. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
So like
confusing.
last season I got it
Like
in
more
3,
than
I
one?
believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last season
So-
I won. I got it in 1.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got in one. I got in none. Like, anyway, so
Any other
well,
highs? Any other highs?
I'm out, but
Mm.
I'm interested to hear your lows because I
Well, I
have
still have a
nothing to talk
couple of-
about.
Okay,
I
anyway,
still have a
Joe.
couple of highs.
Yeah.
Well, this is both a high and a low, but I'll save that for our transition.
Mhm.
I don't say this enough, but Lauren's hair is amazing.
Yeah,
That
it
that
is.
was
It is.
that was my joke high, but like it's still a high.
It's a high. Yeah, it's
Oh,
it is,
Lauren.
it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
See,
Lauren's hair
that's
is
the purple of the week.
sorry. Like,
just say her hair is
Yeah.
just amazing. Like whether it be bunched up or just all froed out, like
Yeah, and matched with how her personality. It's like I cannot imagine Lauren having any other hair
hairstyle. Yeah,
hairstyle. Yeah, it's like it's very her. Yeah, again, going back to these people knowing who they are and really showing it there, especially how many days are they in 13?
Yeah.
Are they on day 13 or day 16,
Somewhere
something like
there.
that? Yeah.
And so anyway, the high/low is knowledge is power.
I had a note on that. I took it out. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Alright.
I hope they don't actually bring
Yeah.
knowledge is power into
Please.
the game,
Mm-mm.
but
Don't.
because they understand that the best part about knowledge is power is not the advantage per se, but people playing around the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what creates good moments, and we got a pretty good moment because of the paranoia of knowledge is
Yeah.
power being brought up by Kane, right? It was Kane that brought it up.
Was it Kane or
That-
wasn't it Lauren who brought it up?
gotta be Kane.
Kane in his exit interviews, Kane said as much. Like
Oh.
he's been sort of planting the seeds in the past couple of days that Like, what if there's a knowledge is power, or knowledge is power could be in play because around this time in previous seasons there was the advantage that was there and all of that, right? So according to him, he was the one that started bringing it up and started planting the seeds of paranoia in his tribe mates about knowledge is power. It's sort of like I think Jesse did the same thing, like just alluded to it,
Okay.
but didn't explicitly use it as the reason that he got he asked for no he didn't
Yeah.
ask for Cody's idol back,
Yeah.
but like he implied knowledge is power or something. Um, so yeah, it's a provisional high if knowledge is power doesn't come back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They realize that the advantage isn't exactly great, but
Mm.
the way that they can get great gameplay is by the looming threat of knowledge is power without knowledge is power itself actually being there.
Yeah.
So that's a provisional high.
Provisional high, and which is also provisional low. One thing that I do want to get shuffled into the game, back into the game, I had high hopes for that. Remember the advantage that who was it who got it? Was it Helen? Was the one of the first boots? Or oh, no, Sarah.
Yeah.
The inheritance advantage.
Yeah.
I hope that they find a way to shuffle it back into the game, because that is while it is a pretty OP power, an OP advantage,
Mm.
it would be cool to see
Yeah.
someone suddenly getting all of those advantages if they get played, right?
Yeah.
So
They have to be on point. That's the
yeah,
thing, right? It's really, really strong, but then if you screw it up then you get nothing. It's like a high risk, high reward sort of thing,
yeah,
right?
which is the entire point, I think, of this season. I mean, Jeff has been pointing it out every time that he can, and when he gets interviewed, it's risk and reward. It's risk and reward.
What kind of fun? The dangerous
The
kind.
dangerous kind.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. So
They're provisional high.
provisional high for knowledge is power. I did have a note on that, but I thought I decided to take it out. But yeah, I pretty much had the same thoughts as you. So yeah, and I think that transitions us squarely into our low. So let's go on the low side of your of that whole thing, because is it
Mm.
only because you don't like knowledge is power?
Yeah. I don't like the advantage, but I like the threat of the advantage. And
Oh.
that's how Survivor can get its cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Or can, yeah, like, have the threat of the advantage there without having the advantage there. That makes for good TV.
Yeah. Maybe they can like and this is also, I guess it is also a low, the fact that most of them, if not all of them, are super fans, and because they've been watching the previous seasons, it's a low because now I think that we started talking about this where a lot of them are because you pointed out, Jao, that there was a podcast that you were watching, that you were listening to, and then the person there said that a lot of the contestants here are playing like what do you call them,
Game
bots,
bots.
game bots already,
Game bots.
because they know what happened in previous seasons. Around this time this usually happens, around this time this usually happens, around, yeah. They start predicting what's happening. They become bots, and I guess that's how it is precisely how Survivor, the producers, can mix things up by just giving that threat, quote unquote threat,
Yeah.
of knowledge is power being in play, right? And it keeps things vague as well, and allows for more gameplay
Yeah,
from our castaways.
it was King George.
No, it was George saying it. No.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ah.
his criticism of US Survivor is that everybody plays like a game bot, so everybody plays the same kind of game. It's very homogenous.
Mm.
He didn't use those words, but like,
Yeah.
that's how I
Something
understood it.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot, it's very homogenous gameplay, which is why Carolyn is great, because she breaks the monotony of the game bot style of gameplay.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Nice.
So that was George. I don't necessarily agree 100%. And he had some very harsh things to say about the sob stories that people have.
Well, of
Because
course,
he doesn't have that side of him. I mean,
Yeah.
he probably does, but he's a very fierce competitor. He's a very
Yeah,
cutthroat player.
yeah,
And he's got to admit the fact that he developed a heart. That's how he got further this in his last season.
yeah.
Right?
Soft spot for Jerry.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to U.S.
Back to our
Survivor.
lows.
Back to you.
Back to U.S.
I
Survivor.
have to like really kick off the actual lows. I mean
All right.
after the transition.
Yeah.
My canonical winner pick is now gone.
The
Kane, my
f-
God. Joe and I were talking about this pre-recording, Marts. I did predict a good trio. It's just that I
Okay.
predicted the first three jurors,
Oh
Matt,
my God.
Brandon, and Kane. They were my top three, and they're the three jurors right now.
I
I
guess
remember
through
that.
hell, fire, and brimstone, all of their torches got snuffed out one by one. Dun, 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 dun. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
So
dun,
yeah,
dun, dun,
Kane. It's sad because we just when he was debuting, he said so himself. He was
Yeah.
debuting
Yeah.
his strategic game. He gets snuffed. His torch gets snuffed. And I have a question. I don't remember ever seeing it. Did we get Kane's backstory, his sub story this season?
I
I don't
don't
think so,
I
right?
don't
think
remember. No,
so
probably
So
too.
not.
that's another thing that producers are
Probably not.
doing
Yeah.
because us fans of the show are starting to predict, oh my gosh, we've seen his backstory. He's gonna get voted out.
Yeah.
Or right, that's something that we look out for. And this one was sort of not really out of left field, but yeah, the fact that okay, he still has plot armor because we haven't seen his backstory.
So
Yeah.
But no,
I guess
he
that's
got
a
voted out.
high. Because if we did see his sob story now, like, oh no, he's leaving.
Mhm.
I think in a way, I guess that's one of the highs. Like, we didn't expect it because we haven't seen his
Yeah, going
backstory
back
yet.
to our highs
Mm,
on
Yeah.
production being really
good shot.
doing
Good
a
call.
really good
Good call.
job
Yeah.
for this episode. So yeah,
Wow.
Kane,
Wow.
uh,
Ah,
Dungeon Master,
yeah.
sad to see him go. We never got I didn't
The
get the D&D
potential.
movie tie-in, and then we just lost our DM. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Carson's an actual gamer or yeah, if he's he actually plays
Uh,
Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But yeah,
He doesn't seem like the
that's
type.
that's my number one top low for this episode. What are yours, guys?
Well, speaking of backstories as being sort of harbingers of boots, we got Carolyn's backstory, so I'm scared.
Oh no!
Like we started getting the pictures. It's when you get the pictures of them, right? Like that's when you start being like, oh, okay, they no longer have the plot armor.
Yeah.
It now just looks like female video game armor, just flimsy and absolutely useless.
Yeah. Then again, it might be they might have started flipping it on its head. Like we
Mhm.
get her backstory, but someone else gets voted out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it might be something new that they're trying, right? Yeah, to try and fool us as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
here's my actual first low. We don't get the Schadenfreude, however you pronounce that,
Mm. Yeah,
of
you pronounced it pretty well.
yeah, we don't get that Schadenfreude of a fake idol being played by Jamie. In fact, none of the fake idols were played; they were all flushed.
Mhm.
Which is we don't get that moment of joy at the misfortune of others,
Mhm.
which is really bad to say. That's why we say Schadenfreude, because it doesn't sound so bad in English. It sounds sophisticated, but really
Yeah.
it's just when you see when you laugh at somebody tripping. Um, so we don't get to have that cathartic moment of 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 Jamie playing the fake idol, thinking that she's like the best player in the game and being put in her place.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh god.
well, maybe being put in her place is too strong
Too
is,
strong,
is a
yeah.
strong term, right?
It's too strong.
And her being brought back to reality, or being
Yeah.
like, hey, this is Survivor. You need to have your wits about you.
But
Mhm.
Like, don't get cocky, kid. You know,
Yeah.
like,
I'm
Exactly what Kane was
scared
saying.
for her though, because it might come soon.
yeah.
Why would
but,
it
you
come
know,
soon?
Because look, we got Brandon out, we got Kane out. Are they the same tribe? And I've been predicting this. Like
Oh yeah,
they're
yeah.
gonna be the ones
The
picked
from
out
season
one
4.
by one by one.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
she might be next, or
Yeah. Well, I think that I personally think that she's
maybe
like
not
gotten.
though. Maybe not, because I have another prediction for next episode.
Yeah. No, but I do think that she what
Like
Zhao was saying, that
it's gonna happen.
that Jamie has had a lot of reality checks. It just her face after Kane got voted out.
Yeah. Like,
That for me was the
well,
ultimate reality check. For
Yeah.
her realizing that, oh gosh,
oh
I'm
no.
not I'm not I'm not
I'm
the
in
main character of this
danger.
story, right? Yeah.
But
She
but like I
gone
said,
Ralph
we
Wiggum.
didn't get to
She
see
gone-
But yeah, it's
we
sad that
didn't
we
get
didn't
to
get to see
see
her play
yeah.
the idol. The
we
idol
didn't
that
get to
she was
see
so
any of them played.
any of them, yeah.
I sadly feel like she might play it and then she gets voted out. That's like
Oh, she
it
gave it
seems
to
like
she gave it to
it's
Kane.
She gave it to Kane,
oh yeah,
dude.
the one that
It's no
Kane said
longer
in the
in play.
oh
What?
that would have been epic.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
There
we've
was
been
no
saying, Mark.
Schadenfreude.
No.
We don't get the moment of catharsis when something bad happens to somebody that isn't us. Because she gave the idol to Kane,
That's
thinking that knowledge's power was in play.
that's what Cade meant. I was like, what do you mean? In the sock, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah, well,
sock.
that sucks. Yeah, that really does suck. Sorry.
Yeah. So there, that's my low. Not only not only because Jamie didn't play it, but because none of the fake ones were played. Although although we still have the
Wait, there's one
outside
more?
shot of a fake idol being played because of Jamie's swap screw idol. Right?
Oh,
Wait. Who
well, and
That's
has
the
the
other
Carson
other
as
fake
fake
well.
idol.
idol?
And Carson as well.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Carson.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. So Carson still has a fake idol.
Yeah. Well,
They,
not a fake idol, but an idol with no power.
Okay.
remember March the swap screw idol, like when they
Yeah,
were swapped
they're
early on, they were
protected.
given an idol that was good until the fake merge,
Yeah.
and those idols are powerless now,
Powerless already, yeah.
but
But
they're
they look
still,
authentic.
in a way, they're still in play, right?
Yeah.
So Carson has one and Jamie has one, so we still have an outside shot of
Of
them.
JP using them.
Yeah,
No,
but
she
not
isn't
but
that stupid.
strategically
Really
using
isn't.
it.
She
Yeah,
knows
like
that.
she
Strategically
could,
using it, telling others that, okay, I've got an idol.
yeah,
Okay.
here's my idol, or like somebody, like giving it to somebody to blindside them, like,
Yeah.
Mm.
hey, I'm gonna play this idol for you, or here, hold on to this idol, and
For
then
good luck.
when that person that she gives it to starts hearing their name at tribal council, you're gonna have that, that shot of them in their hands, like in their pockets, and
Mhm.
does anybody have an advantage or an idol? Play it now. And like after a few seconds that seems a little bit too long, it's like, Jeff, and then the idol comes out, I would like to play this, and then Jeff is going to go like, this is not a
It's
hidden
not
immunity
unhidden
idol.
at all.
and then Jamie is gonna have that like wry little smile because she had her reality check with Kane, and in her revenge for that, say against
Yeah.
Franny or something, she gets them to play her once real idol that's now a fake idol.
Mhm.
Like
Now it's your time for revenge.
yeah, that would be pretty cool. That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool.
Wait.
Probably not gonna happen, but that would be
Yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
would be. Do you think this might be possibly a little bit possibly how she'll awaken her game like how Franny did recently too?
Mm.
Maybe or no? It's
Nah, I doubt it.
too nah. We're
I
just being
personally doubt
too.
it.
Yeah, same here. And it turns out she dominates the next 3 episodes. We're sorry, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's
won't
not,
happen.
you know,
Nah.
that's not outside of the realms of possibility.
It's possible,
Yeah.
actually. It's
You know.
possible.
I doubt it's gonna happen, but it all. I mean,
Yeah,
0.01%
right.
is still a possibility.
It's still a possibility.
Yeah.
Like it's not 3% chance in Steiner Matt, but yeah, it's still gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's possible.
So yeah. So from one person who has, how about you? How about you, Marts? Do you have any lows?
Well, actually,
So you like
Thi-
this episode a lot? It's all
no,
highs for
like
you,
there's nothing low for me to say it's so low because
but there are
my
lows.
only gripe is where's the reward challenge? Like a reward challenge, no immunity, just a reward challenge.
Hmm.
Yeah.
An Applebee's challenge, a car challenge, hell,
I don't think
even
they're
an Adam
ever gonna do
Sandler
that.
movie challenge.
Yeah.
At the end of that,
I was saying one
challenge.
of an Adam Sandler movie challenge would have been an early showing of the D&D movie. That would have been the
Yeah.
perfect tie-in, since
I'm pretty sure it's been a good decade since we've seen an Adam Sandler movie in Survivor.
no,
I
I'm not
think
saying it's gonna
high
be an
time.
Adam Sandler movie. I'm saying it's a D&D movie, because that Adam Sandler movie was only one time. Also, come on, don't say it's the Adam Sandler movie is not a tied directly to
Yeah.
Survivor.
I remember that. We were trying to manifest that into the universe in our
Yeah.
third episode for the season or something.
Yeah,
D&D tie-in, reward challenge. They
Yeah.
go to the Survivor. What's it? What do they call it?
The
go to
Survivor
the sanctuary, and they get to screen Dungeons and Dragons, and
Yeah.
it's like Kane and that's
Carson.
there, or Carson or whatever, and they like have their minds blown.
Yeah.
And
But no.
we were trying to
Yeah.
manifest that into the universe, but no,
No, that's why I'm
Dungeons
so
and Dragons just
disappointed
had
already.
to. It just had to lose money.
I'm sorry, Kane. You rolled a bad dice. your D20 rolled a dud.
It's called a critical miss, Smart. It's
Oh,
called a
there it
critical
is. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Touchdown, that slam dunk, baby.
touchdown that
That
slam dunk for touchdown that slam dunk for a home run, baby.
Yeah. All right. So going to actual lows, one low for me. It's starting to become a low. Whereas we have started to see more and more the story of Carolyn coming out as the hero of the season. On the flip side of that, we're starting to see Danny Vlachos. I had to note Danny Vlachos coming out as the villain of this story.
But
Yeah.
is he more of Vlachos to you? Because even the
He's-
early
he's
episodes,
Vlachos.
I feel like there's a bit of Russell in him, and it's not yet out. You feel
No, for me, he's Vlachos.
okay.
He's
Because I really
Vlachos.
feel that. Because eventually he might be starting to burn some socks or hats. Maybe not.
but I still see he's a
Yeah.
Vlachos.
Okay.
But I do see your point where someone might see him as a Russell
Yeah.
Hantz. But yeah, his that scout's honor, making him
Yeah,
look
right?
more and more like a
That's-
villain, and underestimating
Russell
Franny's
move.
observation.
Yeah.
That gesture at Tribal,
Mm.
that like
Yeah.
but basically he's looking more and more like a he's getting edited more and more like a villain in
Because-
this season.
Because if that was Tony, like it's more of a goodwill kind of thing, or a bit more zany. Like he's not gonna be
Smart. I'm not saying that
sorry,
what he's been doing is Vlachos. I just say that I see him as Vlachos, but he's starting to come out as a villain.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Like okay,
All right. So yeah.
chill.
Yeah, this was on our wish list towards the beginning of the season, right? Like one of our early episodes when we were saying like, what do we want from this season?
Mhm.
One of the things that we were hoping to get, and I wasn't very optimistic about getting, but I'm glad to be wrong.
Okay.
We're getting a villain.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I remember in our preseason episode or something like that, we were like, yeah, we would like to have a George sort of character,
Yeah.
somebody that we can root
Oh,
against.
okay.
And it was like, and I was saying that um the people that play US Survivor um generally aren't villains, generally aren't heroes,
Mhm.
right? Like as George said in his interview, they're game bots, right? Like they have
Mhm.
that, you know, they're neither heroic nor villainous. They are infinitely and then these are no longer George's words. They are infinitely flexible, right? They aren't
Mm.
heroes, villains, they're just infinitely flexible. Very Machiavellian in that sense.
Yeah.
um so by some perspectives they're all villains. um,
No.
but it's good to see that we have a villain in Danny.
Mhm.
um I suppose that could have been a high, but it's also a low
It's
because, you
also
know,
mm.
villains are like
Okay.
the lowest of the
the
low.
no, I'm saying that it's a low because I like what I exactly what I said. I had seen him as a Vlachos 2.0,
Yeah,
and he's coming out. He's being portrayed more and more like a villain. Yeah,
yeah.
and that's why it's a low
I
for
see
me.
it. I see it. Um, yeah, I can see that, and I'm actually here for it. You know,
Mm.
like it's it's what was it? Again, alluding to like superheroes, and once again, talking about Batman without actually saying Batman. Um, one of the questions that's always asked about Batman in, you know, answered by authors, right? Uh,
Yep.
is are the rogues gallery a reaction to the presence of a dude flying around in a
Mm-hmm.
bat suit, or is Batman sort of the reaction to like the villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, most of the people that have written Batman in the past, like what, 20 years or whatever, um, have been of the opinion that it is the presence of Batman that gives
Mm-hmm.
rise to the masked villains in the Rogues
Oh.
Gallery of uh, Gotham City. So it is the presence of the hero that is Batman that necessitates the rise of a Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we're to use Star Wars, and I'm very sorry, people that don't like the sequel trilogy,
Okay.
the idea that the Force brings an equally strong dark side user if there is an equally strong light side user of the Force, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes
Like
sense.
it balances itself out like that.
Yeah.
um yeah, like Ray was the reaction to Palpatine or something, because like
Mm-hmm.
the dark side was very strong in
Ah.
Palpatine, so the light side of the Force had to come up with a Ray. I mean, I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily agree with that, with how they told that story, but you know, that's sort of what they're going for. That an imbalance in dark gives light rise to light, an imbalance with the light gives rise to the dark. The presence of a masked hero brings out necessarily a masked villain. The presence of a Carolyn
Mm-hmm.
means we need to have a Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Wow.
I now I remember it wasn't Franny versus Heidi. It was Franny versus
Then.
Danny. That was the thing the trajectory that I started seeing. But us saying that it seems that Carolyn
That
is
makes
the hero
sense.
of this series. I'm not quite seeing it yet, whether it is going to be a Carolyn versus Danny thing. But Carolyn did say that she wants Danny out ever since
Yeah.
that muscle bro moment in Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So that might be in the works. That might be in the works.
Yeah, because there was even that friction between Carolyn and Jam Jam, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jam
Mhm.
Jam was like, "Yo, we we got to take out Kane,"
Mm-hmm.
and um, Carolyn was like, "No, we got to take out
Take out Dan.
Danny because, you know,
Mhm.
the muscle bro thing."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so kudos to Carolyn for voting with Jam
Voting,
Jam.
yeah, voting
With-
logically. That's the thing. She has all of these emotions, but in the end, she still votes strategically. she doesn't vote with her heart, which is what Jam Jam has been doing, and it might
Oh,
be
yeah.
his
His
undoing in the
downfall.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
I would like to. I would like to propose that it is my canonical winner pick in the person of Carson that's
Oh.
making that's keeping the peace there.
Actually, yeah, because he's been like, remember in the preview, the Three Stooges are running the show.
Yeah,
It seems like they're the Three Stooges and they're running the show. Well, in their minds,
well, and that's and I would say that's
and it might be true.
solely because of Carson.
Yeah.
Because when Carson was swapped over
Oh,
for
God.
To
that
Ratu.
one day to Ratu for that one day or whatever, it just started falling apart.
Oh,
Yeah,
And then when
yeah.
Carson comes back in, all of a sudden, like that bridge is mended. So it's sort of Carson that's like the glue that's keeping them together.
yeah, he's the glue guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the glue. He's the Phil Coulson
Yeah.
of
Coulson of this
of this tribe, right? He's the
Oh,
glue.
so does his downfall trigger the Avengers banding together? Right?
At the hands of Danny, who we're establishing as the Loki of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
he
the
has like a
mischief.
massive redemption arc.
Yeah. Right? So
So
wow,
I've already
that's
done DC, I've done Marvel, I've done Star
you've done
Wars.
Star Wars. You need a
We've
Star
already
Trek
done
this time.
We've already
Star
done
Trek.
D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, my other low, I don't know. I was debating with myself whether this is an actual low, but the fact that Heidi was the one who found the hidden immunity idol for me is kind of a low because I'm not
My
quite
God,
sure
that's
if
true.
she's gonna be able to use it correctly. For me, she kind of failed with how she used the previous advantage that she got. But yeah, I think I'm not quite sure if she's gonna be able to use this hidden immunity idol correctly. She did make a good decision not to tell anyone about it. So that's at least that's pretty good. But also for this, I'm just gonna go straight into my next low because she was at she was a focal point in it.
Okay.
The negotiations, because she was the one who was like presenting herself as, oh, we
my
wanted
God,
to
I
take a
forgot
look at
about
the
that.
challenge first and whatever. And then no negotiations happened at all. They just acquiesced to Probst asking for 4, right?
Yeah.
When she as the chief negotiator could have said, can we do it for 3 or can we do it for 2?
I think she
Yeah.
could have actually. Now that you mention it, it's like,
Right after only 2, it was initially Carson and who was the other one who initially said that they weren't gonna do it.
Jamie.
No, it wasn't
Oh,
Jamie.
no,
Jamie
the other one,
didn't
the
step up.
purple edit lady.
Let me check that out.
Lauren.
Or yeah, purple edit lady. Yeah. And then Kane, right? The third guy, and then
Heidi.
eventually after hemming and hawing, like, God,
Yeah,
that was.
I'm a competitor, but we wanted rice, but I'm a competitor, so you could have negotiated for 3, right?
Yeah.
But no, and that's why Probes was so surprised. Like I have never had negotiations go this way. Yada.
Yeah, because this is also my low, man. The negotiation wasn't really a negotiation. You know?
It was them acquiescing to, okay, Jeff, you're asking for 4, here's 4.
Yeah, can we have 3? No. Yes. No. Yes. All right. How about we get 75% of the rights, but only 3 people stay in? You know, like that's
that could have
that's a
worked,
negotiation.
right?
Yeah, that's a
You know?
negotiation, but no.
I'm like, wow, even the San Juan del Sur like negotiations had a negotiation. Like, remember that famous line that Jeff said, "My life is fine." It was there.
Remind
This
us,
was
Martin, what was that situation?
one of the Christie brothers, I think, was trying to negotiate something of a lowball deal for Jeff, and Jeff like not having it. It's like, my life is fine. Like, what do you guys want? Like something about the tarp or something. Like, they actually negotiated there. This is like, oh, we will negotiate. Okay, we need 4 people for ice. Guys, let's have 4 people for rice.
So it was so San Juan del Sur, was that before
That
the season of
was
Angelica?
Angelica is what's her
Was that
season
before?
again?
I don't quite
Is Angelica Ghost Island?
I don't
Or
remember.
can I have your jacket?
Yeah, they kind of have your jacket, Angelica.
Oh, way before. This is where
Way before.
where Natalie won. The twins. One of the
Because there
twins.
were okay. Because there
Right?
was there was talk in No Buffs whether or not the negotiations as they are now, if we attribute that to Angelica. So apparently, I didn't even
I
know that
think so.
those negotiations ever happened in
I
San Juan
agree.
del Sur.
I agree because
So you
Angelica,
attribute it to Angelica because she was the first one who negotiated, right?
Yes, but her negotiation was actually better than this one.
No, there were no negotiations at all in this episode.
Yeah, like
yeah.
This is like a fart in the church. Thank God it's not a shart. Okay, Danny. Okay, Danny. Okay. To get it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad that Danny didn't pull off another one this episode.
Jeff.
And Danny is 0 for 2 back to back, right?
Yeah.
He's like
in challenges.
Yeah, he lost to what's it?
Lauren. Lost to Lauren and now lost to Franny. Yeah. Yeah, that might be gnawing at him already. He's like the most buff now. He's like the most buff left. He's the last muscle bro left. And he can't beat Lauren or Franny. Any other lows, Joe?
Oh, that was it for me. The big low was, we didn't get to see any of the fake idols played. They might as well have just like cut them out of the show.
Yeah, but then again, we wouldn't get that nice lower third for Jamie.
Yeah,
every time that she came up with, I have an idol. Why do I still have an idol? I'm so glad I have an idol. One fake idol.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so if we're done with lows, very good lows. Let's go ahead to our predictions. Starting off with whose line is
before
it?
that?
Oh yeah, before that.
Before that, let's look at our predictions from last week.
Okay, let's go back to our predictions from last episode.
Right. One of the predictions that you had, fake idol played. Was there a fake idol? Yes and no. There was a fake idol in play,
but it did not get played. Right.
My boot prediction was it's either Kane or Lauren.
You got that right.
I suppose they get half a point for that. The low hanging fruit one for me, Danny won't find an idol.
Oh, okay.
Because they showed him looking for the idol. Like, oh, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
One of your predictions, Joel, was Carolyn not liking Danny would be a red herring.
No, but it's not.
Yes and no.
Oh,
she doesn't like Danny, but Danny wasn't voted out.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it was a red.
It was a red herring to the fact that Danny would get voted. Yeah.
Yeah. The ones that we both sort of agreed on was the Tika 3 would get more influence. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And did Heidi mess up any plans?
Not yet. Well, yes, she did. She did with the negotiations. I guess that she messed up negotiations.
All right.
Yeah. I think that we got that one.
More or less. Yeah, those were our predictions from last week.
Last episode.
Mine was just it's gotta be Kane.
Yeah, you were the one that got it spot on, dude.
Yeah.
It's gotta be Kane.
You're like, Kane.
That's the Undertaker's brother.
You're like Kane, and Joe's like,
no, can't be. No, you wait and see. He's gonna come back from the dead.
Like the other Kane.
Yeah, that's precisely what I was alluding to, Martin. I was riding your thing. So yeah, yeah. He's gonna come back with a mask on his face. You know.
We didn't get the what's it, by the way? We didn't get the episode title. I'm really
episode title, not at all.
Wait, what's next week's episode title?
No, yeah. We thought it was gonna either because it was about a dragon, so we thought it was
Yeah.
about Kane. It was gonna be Kane, or who was the other one? Or Franny or Carson, right?
Yeah.
None of them. It was
Okay.
Danny. That was so weird. Hearing him say it.
Ah.
So he might just be a medieval geek, or he's just buying into the whole medieval
Yeah.
theme.
He's leaning into the theme.
Yeah, the theme that's
Yeah.
just there but doesn't really work itself into the game. So it's so weird. Again,
And
just like the last season.
I guess one more order of business before we start getting into our actual predictions. Who do you guys think um was given credit, at least by the edit, for the voting out of Kane?
Mm.
Like
Um,
credit.
yeah,
You
for
first.
we talked about this off cam. Joe. And I do lean towards Heidi. Oh my gosh, Heidi. Heidi being given credit because at least in the episode she was the one who first floated the idea of it being
Hey.
Kane, of the
Okay.
vote being Kane. Meanwhile, Jam Jam agreed to it, and because he's part of his list, right?
A list.
Yeah.
All right.
So if I subscribe to the same philosophy of Zhao in picking canonical winner picks, so my canonical winner pick is now Heidi.
Okay, so who's your actual winner pick now, though?
My actual winner pick, I'm now going all in on Franny.
Okay.
All right.
I'm now
Yeah.
going all in on Franny.
The canonical winner pick is Heidi. The actual winner pick is
Pick
Franny.
Friday.
Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go. What about you? Who do you credit for the plan?
Um, I was gonna say Jam Jam. I was
Mm.
gonna say that. Well, the show was giving Jam Jam credit by having him
Mm.
enumerate the people that are out because of him, or
Mhm.
are out because they wrote his name down.
Yeah.
Like that was the implication. But then that could also just be,
Be a rhetoric.
telling the story through Jam Jam's eyes,
Yeah.
right, as our point of view character. So 50-50 on it, but I lean more towards Jam Jam because he seems like the more strategic player.
Seems it, yeah. What about you, Joe?
Joe.
Sorry, I'm
Jam
Martz.
Jam. Oh, well, since my pick is Jam Jam, we gotta say Jam Jam. And this time we gotta
Mm.
put subtitles on that.
Okay.
But
Uh.
yikes. Who else wrote Jam Jam's name that he knew of?
I'm not sure.
Dun, dun,
I
dun. Are
think there
they
might have been like
next?
one more. I think there was
Yeah,
like one
there
more person.
should
I
be
can't
one
remember who.
more.
But let me check the
Right?
Survivor wiki.
So who's on his hit list for next episode, right?
This is going to be
Would it?
the prediction, right? The prediction.
Yeah.
Let's
Who's on his who's
on his hit
next?
list, right? Let's see.
Jam hit list.
Jam. Who voted for Jam Jam? Helen, Josh, Matt, Franny, Kane. Franny.
Or
did he vote for Franny?
Oh,
Wait, what?
Whoa.
I think he voted for Franny.
Oh, he voted for Franny. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Jam. Where's Jam on here? Where's his face?
Lauren voted for Jam. But it was controlled by another player, which was Heidi.
There, that was it. So who's on the hit list of Jam Jam? Lauren or Heidi? Because it was done under duress.
True.
But it was Jam heard it because Heidi said the vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess Heidi is next on the hit list of Jam per the editors. Not really for Jam.
All right, so that's my first prediction. Heidi will be eliminated next.
Because of
There
Jam.
There you go. Anyway, before we go to those predictions, let's go to whose line is it actually. So, next week's episode is entitled "Full Tilt Boogie."
Okay.
I don't quite know who would say this, but then again, we thought that any of the three geeks would say this last week's episode. Yeah, who do you guys think is gonna say it?
Carolyn.
Carolyn, you think Carolyn's gonna say it? What about you,
Okay.
Joe?
Lauren.
Lauren. Yeah, I actually have Carolyn as well. Seems like I don't know. It seems like a line that she could say, but yeah, I do see Lauren saying it as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's it. So because Zhao picked Carolyn, so I'm gonna pick someone else. Uh, who hasn't been attributed a line?
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
I will go with. I think she's the last one.
Franny.
Heidi. Oh my gosh.
All right, Heidi.
So yeah,
Heidi.
it's Heidi for me.
I'm going to mark this as Joel picked under
Yeah,
duress.
under duress.
Under duress by Heidi once more. God, Heidi, not again.
Yeah. Going to predictions, who do you think Carson was alluding to when he said that he's just gonna have to choose who's gonna betray?
Oh, that would be Jam Jam or
Oh, so within Tika, you're thinking that he's deciding where.
The Three Stooges are about to be disbanded.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Martin's prediction: Three Stooges.
It's a Three
Disbanded.
Stooges disbanded. Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the other possible interpretation of that line, because Tika is playing the middle. He's saying he has to decide who he's going to betray, Ratu or Soka.
Oh,
So
that's true.
Um,
Middle game, yeah.
That's going to be my prediction, that line refers specifically to Carson playing the middle.
Okay.
And not betraying the Tika 3.
Yeah. So yeah, so I'll go with yet another interpretation. He is going to think whether he's going to betray his head or his heart.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Oh shit.
So is it gonna be a strategic move or is it
Or
gonna
a
be an
heart.
emotional move? All right.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see.
really
We'll
like
see what
that.
happens. We'll see what happens. So he might be asked to betray Tika as a whole, right? Or then that will be the heart, right? I don't know. I don't quite know who is going to ask him to do it, but is he going to be strategic and stick with the Tika 3 in staying in the middle? So
Nice.
that's my thing.
I like it. So three different ways that one line could be interpreted, and we'll see what happens.
Any other predictions in your side, guys?
The who's getting the boot? Who's getting the boot?
Who's
It's
getting the
not
boot?
Gonna be
Martin said what? Who did
It's
what?
not gonna be Ratu this time though. I have a feeling they'll pause for a while. And I think that's why Carson may have said that. If we're going with
No, so you're going with it might be Jam Jam or Carolyn.
No, like they might go to the other side now and focus on Soka. There's a chance it might be Heidi. Or if Franny's not immune, but I'm predicting Franny is gonna have an immunity run. Like, goddamn.
Franny immunity.
Franny immunity.
And Heidi eliminated.
So she won't be able to use her immunity idol. Oh gosh, it might be a blind side. Like they target someone else, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Other
Nowhere
predictions?
to run, nowhere to hide. That's it.
Um, since my predictions are like usually way off, right? I'm gonna predict knowledge is power. Knowledge is power comes back.
With a
You-
vengeance.
yeah, you know how you have like if you have an eyelash, right? And
Mhm.
like you put it in between your thumb and
And then you choose.
index finger, and then you choose like up or down. Like for a statistically significant number of times, that's such a horrible sentence. Um the eyelash goes to the one that I don't pick. So if I say like down, it's up. And if I say up, it's like down.
So you're predicting that knowledge is power is in so that it doesn't come in. All
Yes,
right. There you go.
basically. No,
There you go.
for the number of years that I've been going out with my wife, like when we were together as boyfriend and girlfriend, and then got married. I think the only time I've ever hit that eyelash thing of the however many times we did it over all of those years, it's only ever been correct like once or twice, and I'm not exaggerating. So hopefully by predicting knowledge is power, it's not going to come back.
Okay.
This is coming from the
Okay.
person that said Helen would win it all.
Wait, who's hell? Oh, last. Okay. Sorry. Oh crap. Okay.
All right. So any other predictions, Marts?
I think
None?
I'm okay.
All right. Okay, that
There you
is
go.
cool.
There you go.
All
Let's
right.
let's go on to the last section of the episode. Survivors of the week. Let's start,
Oh.
of course, as usual, with Castaway of the Week. Who won the week?
Uh, you know that I'm gonna say Carolyn, right? Like it's got to be
Yeah,
Carolyn.
I should have
Um,
her as well.
well,
Carolyn.
with Franny a close second, right? Being the
Mm.
immunity beast that she's becoming, but Carolyn, because this is such a great story.
Yeah, exactly. That was gonna be my reason as well. What about you, Marts? Who's your Castaway of the week?
Always. Then, now, forever. Carolyn.
Wow, always, now, and forever.
Just for this episode.
So it's not forever then.
Watches like on season 45. Who's your survivor of the week? Carolyn.
Always, now, and forever.
Forever. Then, now, forever. Together. WWE. WWE. Something
Okay.
like that.
I thought you were making a reference to once a ranger, always a ranger.
Always a ranger. Out now on streaming.
Netflix. It's
Yeah,
on Netflix.
that's on Netflix. It was
So
really
we've
nice.
done Star Wars, we've done Power Rangers.
Rangers, we done WWE. If I added together forever and ever to part, that's a Rick Astley reference.
Yeah.
But a different Rick roll.
All right. Who do you guys have for goat of the week?
Ah, the Jam Jam.
Jam Jam. Why Jam
Ooh,
Jam? That's
Jam Jam.
interesting.
Bro, stop being so vindictive, Jam Jam. Oh, he
Okay.
voted my name. Now you're going out. Like,
Okay. All
bro,
right.
bro, slow your roll, Jam Jam.
Ooh.
Slow your roll.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ja, who do you have?
Jamie.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Look at that.
Yeah, one fake idol, and now that she didn't know was fake, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it, I think she comes out of the episode looking worse than Kane.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah.
And he was the boot.
True.
So
True.
like
Yeah.
it's really sad.
Yeah. For me, while it is in a way a high, I'm just a little sad because the guy I thought was gonna be Vlacos 2.0 is becoming the villain. So for me, he's the goat of the week. Danny's my goat of the week. Especially with how he dealt with all of these things.
Okay.
He's becoming a little too gung ho, and it might bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, just how Ratu's being too gung ho and being they were becoming too overconfident and bit them in the ass with back to back boots. Okay, now we go to purple of the week. Who or what do you guys have?
The one you mentioned, Lauren.
Lauren.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Lauren. Okay.
Lauren.
What about you, Joe?
The experience of pleasure, joy, or self-satisfaction that comes from learning or witnessing the troubles, failures, or humiliation of another.
Otherwise known
What's
as
that mean?
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Oh.
Yeah, we didn't see that. We it's a missed opportunity. For me, it's connected to that. My purple of the week, Jamie's fairy godmother confidence. It is now gone. No more tring 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 for her.
Oh.
Especially with this was also this was a discussion on no buffs. I think it was TK who said that the fact that she thought she had an idol made her more confident, made her play more because she thought that she had this power that could keep her from getting voted out.
Yeah.
And so she was more confident in her gameplay. And now it's gone. I wonder how well she could still manifest good things to happen to her and her tribe for the rest of the days, this 10 days left in on the island.
So, what it would be like when that little girl loses her magic ballet shoes?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. The fairy tales. We're going to fairy
The fairy
tales.
tales. We go back to fairy tales.
Sorry, Star Trek people. I can't find something to talk about with Star Trek.
Well, maybe one day we will find something to live long and prosper about in this
Okay,
island.
all right. That's pushing it, Marts.
I don't know.
That's pushing it. All right. Any other thoughts about this episode, guys?
Lauren's hair is amazing.
Lauren's hair is amazing. Right? Franny on the revenge tour, Jam Jam also on a revenge tour, and the emergence of Carolyn as a hero and Danny as a villain. All right. So I guess that is it for this episode of the Council of Titos. Finally, we are complete again. Now, if you liked our video, please hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. Also consider hitting the subscribe button so you get notified whenever we have new content on the channel. For now, the Laro-Laro lang channel is provisionally a Survivor, a Council of Titos channel. We haven't gotten any other content from the other shows on the channel, but yeah. Anyway, and if for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs as we talk Survivor, you can catch us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Council of Titos and you'll hear our voices. Anyway, this has been Chief Bistak Joel Parcon.
I'm the goddamn Carolyn.
This is
reference.
Martin. It's gotta be Kane.
There you go. We hope you can join us on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, everyone. The Titos have spoken.